lady.
Are these all?
That side is herbal. It's blood orange, organic blood orange, and that is English breakfast.
Okay, excellent. Are we live?
It is live.
Oh. Hello.
This is lovely. Nice. Tiffany,
This is snazzy.
Jazzy. Welcome to our high tea at Stage West.
Are we napkins?
I was napkining because they're so beautiful. That lovely design. We'd like to give a special shout out to Pam Huey for this fantastic array of tea, finery. China. We're right on target.
I'll find the words for you.
Mark will be my words. And we're so glad to have everyone here. We're going to talk about the season essentially and have some tea. High tea because it is 2:30.
Right.
And that is the time for tea.
Right. There's an interesting thing about. I looked it up after I said, oh, it should be at 2:30. But there's an interesting difference between what classically when Brits have tea and when they have high tea. And actually, originally, high tea was just before dinner.
Is that 4:20, right?
No, that's when they have tea. But originally, high tea was a precursor to dinner, which dinner at that time was served like not before 8 o'clock in the evening. So high tea was just before dinner.
Dang, we had spoons. We had tiny spoons. We bought tiny spoons.
Dang!
Can't do this without a spoon.
That smells good.
I know. You know, I don't really typically like any kind of cream. Oh, they're so cute. In my coffee, I never really put cream in my coffee anymore. Here, I'll put that one. But I do like it from time to time in my tea. It's so nice. Yeah. And I guess, you know what, since we're here, would you give me a lump?
Oh, yes. All of a sudden had an image of like Roadrunner cartoons, or who was in a lump and hit you over the head. One lump or two.
There will be others joining us. We'll have Tiffany Green here. She's our interim company manager.
Tiffany Cromwell.
It's my last
Tiffany
name.
Cromwell. Tiffany Green, if you're watching and you won't be here. Lady Green, hey. I can't be responsible for names, okay?
That's okay.
I need to be. I need to be held accountable. Good Lord. You know, I was like, what, you're not joining? You're not joining? What? Yeah. Tiffany Cromwell will be joining us, and that's just a perfect name to really have. Cromwell is such a classic name, but I think you'll be even more suitable to be at this table, you know, with the classic Cromwell. And then Garret Storms will also be here.
All right.
Of the family storms.
Family
The clan storms.
Excellent.
I'm eating. I don't like eating on camera, but this is good.
Yeah. So we all know what we have present here. Tiffany made some wonderful lemon bars. They're great. Really happy to have them. These are from me. The ones on the left are gluten-free bread with tuna. It's tuna fish with a little bit of radish in it. And then on the right-hand side is this amazing cheese jalapeno spread on baguettes.
Not gluten-free.
Not gluten-free, but worth a try. This, I believe, is somebody, I don't know about this tray. I know these are gluten-free cookies, and these are like chocolate chip bites.
Yeah, they
They're
are.
chocolate
I already
chip
had one.
dessert bites.
Yeah.
And these are gluten-free oatmeal cookies.
Excellent.
Lovely.
And then we have some lovely cheese. It looks to me like cheddar and pepper jack. Yeah. And here we have a British tea time and British tea time? English tea time.
English is fine.
And
English
here
breakfast.
is like extreme blood orange herbal, something like that. Okay. Can I pour you some tea? Would you wish?
Sure, I'll try the extreme.
Sugar?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
We are out of control.
Would you care for sugar?
What is it in here? Is there anything in there? Or is it just for fun? Is it just for show?
It's a beautiful
It's a
decoration.
beautiful decoration.
It is.
Do you need any cream or anything?
I will.
You don't trust cream? Okay. Here you go. And Garret.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Do you need sugar? Did you already get the sugar?
Mark provided.
Are you lumped? Okay.
Stir daintily, stir daintily.
I know, you're not supposed to, too much stirring.
Good. Bruise the tea.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so, hey you guys. It's so nice
Hey.
to have high tea with you all. We are going to be talking about our upcoming season today, and I think what would be fun is if we just do a little bit of
Ooh.
whatever question comes up. first.
Great.
Grab
Yeah.
these cards. Okay. The first question is, ding. How does the process work? Would anyone
Ooh.
like to take that on as how does our process at Stage West work for choosing a season?
Well, it starts off by reading a lot of plays.
Right.
That's where we begin, really.
It starts way early too. We started like October last year, reading.
Yeah.
As soon as the season starts.
As soon as the season
Yeah.
starts.
As soon as we get a
As
season,
soon as we get a
start the
season,
next one.
we're
Yeah.
reading, trying to figure that out. Garret, you've been fantastic about bringing in a lot of new plays that none of us have not only heard of, but can't necessarily get access to through the usual licensing houses. I guess I went through and I always look at the licensing books
Mm-hmm.
for dramatists and San Fran and British. Everyone does, and then keep ordering, reading. And then once one of us finds something that we like, we start going, hey, will you read this?
Then
Will you
we
read
all
this?
start reading it, yeah.
Mhm.
So then once we get a number of plays that we think we might want to produce,
Start figuring out what
yeah, we
works together.
start creating possible budgets for each
Yeah.
one.
That's true.
To figure out how much.
Could we
or
produce it?
Could we produce it?
That's an important factor for every play as we look at it and say, is this something that we could produce on our stage, knowing the limitations we have?
Yeah.
Because we can't build anything, really two-story sets are
Hard.
about,
Yeah.
they're
Right.
hard, they're not out of the question, but they're difficult.
Mhm. Technical demands.
Technical
Mhm.
demands, cast size, anything over 9 people is really, it would have to be knock your socks off special, and then everything else would be like a one-person show.
Or in the public,
Right.
something in the public domain.
Absolutely.
Something, yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
It could be something like Shakespeare or,
Mhm.
Shaw.
yes, Moliere.
Mhm. Really dry. Tread lightly.
Which ones are dry?
The sandwiches.
Oh, okay.
Really dry.
Somebody says, that's some good nodding, Tiffany.
I just want to defend my sandwiches. I just think they're more like 4 bites. They're cut to be a 1 bite, but it's more like a 4 bite sandwich. Be careful.
Don't die, we need you.
I feel a little on the spot. Should we go into why really big shows that are not in the public domain are sometimes more possible? Because I don't think
Shows that
everyone
are
might
not
know
in the-
about that.
shows that are not.
That are in the public domain but have more than 9 people. What makes them special?
Mm.
No royalties.
Oh, right.
Oh,
yeah,
gotcha.
no
Yes,
royalties.
yes.
No royalties.
We don't have to pick
That's right.
And so that royalties can be
Generally, it's about $4,000 plus per show
so.
in royalties.
I don't think a lot of people know that theaters have to pay a certain amount to do a play.
Right.
To just have permission.
Just to have permission.
Yes.
Mhm.
The 4,000 would be in advance against the box office. Then that is guaranteed, regardless of how well or how poorly the show does. And then if it does well, then you pay over that, over the advance, yeah.
So budget comes into consideration for everything we're reading. I know that this year we read several plays that had more than 7 characters. But you can kind of think about it as every, you know, your actors are going to be in the. Can I talk money here? I mean, is it
Sure.
talk money?
I don't know.
I know, weird, but do you all want to know what an actor gets paid?
Well, it depends on the contract here, of course.
Broad strokes.
Broad strokes. Well, Stage West is a small professional theater, and
It's about percentages, maybe. Like
talk about-
they're this percentage of the budget per show.
okay. Well, if we're talking percentages, then I'd say an actor. The actors are like a quarter to a third their salaries. Wouldn't you
Yeah.
think? Of the budget for a show, and no one's walking away rich. In some cases, especially for the non-union people, you know, it's going to help with some car travel and a little extra, but it's not going to be a full-time job for anyone.
Right.
Unless they are working multiple shows, especially, you know, even as a union actor. It doesn't generally pay your bills. I think that's fair to say. Right? So that's about a third to a quarter of the budget. How does the process work? So once we come into agreement on plays that we like, then we apply for them through the licensing houses. Dramatists and San French are the usual go-to licensing houses.
For a straight release.
For yeah.
Right.
And then
And often just a playwright's agent. If
Yes.
it's an unpublished work, we can often deal with it single agent to get the rights for a play.
which we have this season coming up. And so we'll talk about that. Our season, actually, you know what, you can, if you're following us at home, you can look at stagewest.org, STAGEWEST.org.
You spelled it right.
And you can look to see what our next season is so that you can follow along. So you can follow along at home, maybe get your own tea. But then we apply for the rights. We try to be very sensitive to only apply for the rights of things that we were really serious about. And then we start trying to figure out that ones. Exactly, it's a puzzle. You know, you don't want it to all be
To any.
two of anything.
Yeah.
You want some of everything, you want it to be fresh. But that's I think a different question. So how does the process work? Then we hope that the rights come back, that we are granted the rights to do the play. We finalize budgets, and then we take a leap of faith and say, okay, this is what we're doing, and we all and then we have tea.
Yeah.
We have tea. Okay.
That's basically the process, yeah.
Okay. So,
Takes a lot more time than that, I guess.
Right.
I'll have to.
Basically a year.
Tiffany, would you like to choose the next question?
I would.
Actually, we have a question from a viewer. How many people do we not see that go into making a production come to life? This would actually be a great question for Tiffany, who is currently our stage manager.
We also have talk about the importance of a stage manager to a production.
Ooh, yeah.
Double header.
I know. Let me take a.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a drink for that one.
You need something stronger.
Get it from the back, please. Thank you. So how many people go into doing the show that a lot of people don't,
Yes.
you don't see? Well, I think you guys did a really good job telling us what happens to get there, and then once we get there, you guys kind of find designers for everything to get together. So we have the director, scenic designers, lighting designers, sound, costumes, props, everything that kind of goes into that. And even with those people, they have people that come and help them with electricians and painters and builders. Our technical directors here every day, also building the set. So there are a lot of unsung heroes that come in. We have our volunteers who come in and volunteer and usher for us, which also do we, if you want to come volunteer for Anne, that'd be wonderful to come find that.
Get a free ticket.
And you get a free ticket out of it as well, and you don't want to miss that show. It's really wonderful. So we have a lot of people that kind of come in and help put the entire production together, which is really wonderful. It really takes everyone here involved to do it.
How many in the running crew backstage?
3 people backstage right now, plus myself. Sex with Strangers, you'll have
We have
3
2 ASMs and 2 crew members.
2 ASMs, 2 crew members,
And the stage manager.
and the stage manager. For Bird, it was myself as backstage member, Lynn was our backstage member, and then head stage manager for that. So it all depends on the size of the show and how much you really need.
I can't believe we did Stupid Fucking Bird with 3 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a feat, because that was a big show, big, beautiful costume set, lighting, everything.
It was wonderful, and even me backstage as an ASM for that show, my job wasn't just like making sure the set pieces get put where they need to, or like setting up the props. I also helped out with like a quick change backstage, and we do that with Sex with Strangers too, right? There's some
Yeah, we have some pretty
fast.
Pretty fast
It's crazy. There's one that, in order to speed it up, we went ahead and we take off our clothing on stage before leaving the stage. So we
Fast
can get into
fly.
the next costume. Because it really did help. We were like, well, let's just undress totally. We have our tops on though. That's not completely. It's just our pants.
Just the pants.
Just the pants
And the shoes.
and the shoes. But it makes a big difference.
It does.
to have all
And I
that
think
on.
other people that help to make a production happen are the administrative staff, the marketing team, the development team, the managing director,
Box office.
all of the people who work during the day that you don't necessarily get to see, who are making sure that you know about the show, know information about the show. The donors that make productions possible. We wouldn't be here without all of you who donate money and make art possible. All the grants that we are lucky enough to get, all of the funding.
The
people
ticket
who,
buyers.
yeah, the single ticket buyers, everybody who isn't necessarily directly involved with the production also is a massive part of making it possible.
Yeah, it's a whole community.
Yeah.
Which is kind of one of the things that's special about theater. You really want to boil it down, is that it's not only, it should represent the community, all the people who are working on it. Theater should reflect the community and who we are as collectively as humans.
That's probably
and
another
what our human condition is. It's probably another question, okay. What goes into choosing a theater season? We kind of just talked about that.
Yeah.
So
Let's go next. Oh, that is good.
how many plays
do we read?
For this upcoming season,
Like you two probably read the most, and then filter them down
Is
to
50
us.
too low?
I would say 50 is a little low. 50, I would say 60 to 70 probably past our desks.
Well, and the thing is that.
And
it
I read
wasn't
some
just
that she didn't
those.
read, she read some I didn't read.
Right. If you collect them like that, and then I think you had to read another 30, 40, 50 for the lay writing competition, which is a significant amount of time reading plays,
Yeah.
all of them
Yeah.
together. So, I don't know, how long does it take me to read a play? You're a very fast reader.
Might be too long.
It takes me a while.
Yeah.
There are some plays that I can read extremely fast.
Yeah,
They just, go through. But
If I
there are
like it, I
others.
start acting, and then it takes forever.
I think Off the Room actually took me a while to read, and that's the one I read twice because there's so much happening with it that I wanted to have a very clear understanding of what the vision was on stage.
That's one that I also read twice. I read that one twice, and then I went and researched the Octoroon too.
The opera.
Yeah,
The
and then
original.
I started an Octoroon, researched the Octoroon, and then went back and read an Octoroon. But then again, I lucked out. I didn't have to read nearly as many. I got to read just the season, so.
I think I flew through An Act of God and A Funny Thing Happened, and I think Life Sucks too. Those three were very fast reads for me. And Don't Dress for Dinner.
Can you guys, this is a question from someone whose name has scrolled off the screen. Oh, from Austin Brown. Can you discuss the benefits of the intimacy of a local stage versus the grandeur of Broadway?
Thanks, Austin. Would like to tackle that question.
I think some shows lend themselves to being in a more intimate space. Some shows wouldn't necessarily work on a big Fair Park or Bass Hall. And there are some Broadway houses that are quite intimate. So Broadway, I think, is sort of relative because there are big Broadway houses and there are small, very intimate Broadway houses. But I think some shows, I think what may differentiate Broadway from a regional house's budget. Even if a Broadway show has 2 people in it, it probably has trillions of dollars behind it that we will never see. So that might affect whether or not a regional theater can do a show that may be an intimate Broadway show.
And of course, you could take a show that cost $18 million in one theater and do it for $30,000 in another.
In a different way.
And it does not necessarily mean that it's very possible that the less expensive one will be just as, if not more, successful and effective.
Yeah.
That it really depends on all of the different elements that go into it: the actors, the designers, the director, the concept. But also, I think that Austin was playing upon the intimacy of any house. So I think that's a great question. Is theater on an intimate level, of being very up close? Because in our stage, how far? I'd say we're the closest. You're 4 feet away.
The closest. Yeah.
And then farthest away, what? 16 feet? Not that far.
No.
And so that proximity to actors, where you see the white of your eyes, I think that's an interesting thing for us to rip off of. Whatever the scale of house you're in, whether it's Broadway or community theater, that being that close to the actors, having that intimacy, I think that's an interesting question versus being far away. And what do you think makes that more special?
Well, I think you
just different?
hit on it, is just being that close, being able to see their sweat, their the crinkle in their eyes, being that close to seeing emotions and physicality. It can be can be a lot more powerful to an audience member than sitting in a giant house and needing binoculars to see the actors.
I think
on
one of the things that makes theater sort of its own specific art form, right, is that it happens in the room.
Yeah.
It's never going to be the same way. Ties to this moment in this production is never going to happen again, because tomorrow we're going to have a new experience, and the audience isn't going to be the same, and it's going to change us. And so I think being in the room on a smaller scale with a moment is different. Obviously, the closer proximity, the intimacy is more immediate. It's more. And it also would affect designers and actors and directors and how you perform or produce the piece.
What detail you put into it, because when you're closer, when your audience is 4 feet away, they're going to be able to look at every detail of that set. They're going to have a much different experience than being 300 feet away. And of course, from an actor's perspective, your gestures, your performance is much different on those scales too. So you have a much more realistic, I think, the ability to be extreme realism, if you want, in a smaller setting. Shall we move on?
Yes.
Okay.
We have another question on here if you want.
Okay.
Bring it on.
How much of this season is going to be focused on attracting a younger audience in the DFW community? And they're also giving us props for our marketing, because we advertise our shows well.
I'd like to tackle this real quick about how much is focused on a younger audience. I would like to think that our season is focused on the community in general. We always want to see more diversity in our audiences, whether it's age or religion or race. The thing that matters to us most is bringing in as many people from the community, from representing different groups as possible, because the more that we can have friends and be a part of a community that is mixed, the more we understand one another. So that's my take on the season.
I felt, as being a younger person in this community, having read all the plays, I felt there was something for everyone in our season, which is something I really loved about it. And I also found myself able to connect somehow to each of the shows. And I know that a lot of people, especially in my generation, feel it harder to connect to shows that they see at times. But I personally felt that there was something for everybody in this, which was really great. And especially, I think, a show that I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to connect at first, or it was going to hit everyone. Like Like a Billion Less. I feel like there's something for everyone in that.
I do too.
It's
I mean,
so wonderful.
the main characters are 15.
Yeah.
Right.
Although, I mean, it really is an ensemble piece in my mind.
Yeah.
There's, but it does revolve around a high school.
Mhm.
But I'm so glad you said that because I think it appeals to every age.
Yeah, because when I first read 15, that's when I was like, oh, maybe a little younger, but then I kept going and I was like, no, there's most definitely something for every age group just in this one show.
Yeah, I can't really see. I mean, I look through this list and I don't think we pick shows that way.
We
I
have
think-
all different kinds of people represented in this
Yeah.
season.
Yes, we do.
Ages, religions, walks of life, genders. There's a lot of characters in this season that are representative of all different kinds of people.
Mhm.
I think theater is a constantly dying art form, right? Like it's been dying for centuries. And getting young people to the theater has always been a struggle. Any theater producer will tell you that. So yes, we want more young people, but that's not catering to young people. That's trying to be inclusive and trying to diversify our audience. We want everyone here.
Yeah.
It's hard to get certain demographics here because theater is thought of in a certain way, thought of as educational, or
Right,
thought of as
study, yeah.
not right for me. Or I don't want to go to the theater because it's going to make me sit at home and cook.
Here we are at tea.
Here we are.
Not Judy at all.
Come and be at the theater.
But I think we have settled on a season that is inclusive and that represents lots of different people. And so I think in that we hope to get more people to the theater, people we haven't seen before, fresh faces,
Yeah.
of all different walks of life.
And frankly, it pains me to lose anyone.
That's not to say we want to lose. We want
We
to
don't want to
gain
lose
all
anyone.
the people. Yeah.
We have everyone in mind when we are choosing a theater,
Absolutely.
a season, always. This is a hard question.
I know.
This has been given to us by in advance. You want to read it?
Do you have a favorite script that you read?
I tell you, there is actually a play that is not on our season. I don't know that I would call it my favorite because I have a lot of plays that I've read, but there's one, I don't know if I want to say what
Keep it a
is.
secret
I don't
because we'll
wanna say
produce
what
it in the
is,
future.
Because I'd like to produce it, but it
Yeah.
is by a female playwright. Which, why should we make the distinction of female playwright? I don't know.
It's exciting.
Playwright is an exciting thing,
It's
but
exciting.
it is a play with 5 women, and if you just happen to be watching and you were the playwright, and or you're the licensing house person who we talked to about it, the agent, we loved the play, and we cannot wait to get to produce it. It just wasn't quite time yet, for many factors that we talked to you about. But it was amazing.
Yeah.
It made me scared of the riskiness of it, and it made me feel alive as a woman and excited about the potential of the message that it put out there. I thought it was cool. Other plays?
Is it in our season or just in
I
Favorite plays that you read?
that you
Favorite
read.
that you read?
Well, not ever. I think probably leading up to picking a season. That's what this
Yeah.
I think so,
probably
too.
what this meant.
I loved an octoroon from first read. I was second read actually. First read, I was like, oh, I'm not sure, and then second read, I couldn't get it out of my head.
so well written?
It's an amazing play. Like a Billion Likes from the very first time we read it. It was part of our new our Southwest playwriting competition, and I think it was one of the very first ones I read back in like this time last year, and then it got stuck in the stack of a lot of other plays. But I remember I put it on your desk, Garret, and said, "This one's really very good," and so that one stuck with me. Here, I think. I don't know.
I mean,
I think they're on the season
They're
because
all
we all
right.
like
Yeah.
them.
They made it on the season because we all liked them.
Yeah, there are a few that are not on the season that we have had to let go of that I think we all loved, but we don't want to tell you about them because we'd like to produce them later.
There's sort of an adjunct to that question that we've got here is, what is your dream production that you would kill to be part of?
Okay, there was a play I read not too long ago that I just wanted to produce so bad. I hope I can remember the name of it. The Assembled Parties.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was a generational one.
Mhm.
Oh, that play! I would love to just see it. It was exceptional. Reading it, I laughed, I cried, I was riveted. It was an exceptionally beautiful play, and I think it would be hard for us to produce, so I don't mind telling people about it.
Right. I will echo something our friend Emily Scott Banks has wanted us to do, and it's one of my favorites as well, which is Arcadia by Tom Stoppard.
I think you could easily say we all are.
We have actually
Arcadia fans.
had requested it for a couple of different seasons, and it's a large show. We would be able to produce it, I think, very well.
We would be able to.
It's a big show, and
It's a heady show.
and it keeps falling off for various reasons. But
yeah.
I would love to do that.
What play would you like us to do? What's your favorite show? What's the question?
No, we kind of answered that. What is the criteria we used in selecting the season we knew? Why we picked the shows we did.
Answer that too.
For the flow. It's an interesting thing. Before you really have to put a season together, you may not think about the time of year and other things happening and different factors that go into choosing a show. The most obvious one, of course, is during the whole holiday season. You know, it's probably not the best time to do Hedda Gabler.
Mm-hmm. Although it's a great play.
Although it's a fantastic play. But you wanna be sensitive to different times of the year and the collective mood of the community. And of
Which
course,
always makes putting something around the holidays kind of extra special hard, difficult.
It's a problematic time slot if you're not doing, like the Theater Center has a long tradition of doing a Christmas Carol. I mean, I don't know how many, like decades.
Oh, yeah.
And so they've kind of got that locked into place, and it's a great thing for them to go for. And then people do a Nutcracker. But we don't have that kind of a thing. So An Act of God, we thought was a rather awesome play to have in that time spot with BJ Cleveland in the leading role.
Yeah.
Sounds
That's
great.
amazing.
That'll be a lot of fun.
Okay.
So I like this question. What does it mean to present a regional or world premiere?
Does it mean we wrote it ourselves? Maybe. I guess.
It could be. A regional premiere is just a play that has not been produced in our region, which
This is an interesting, there's no good answer to this. We asked Equity, the Actors Equity Association, and we asked the licensing houses, what does it mean to be a regional premiere? And nobody had a really firm answer. So, I believe our answer to what is the region is this entire North Texas area, which would be kind of down to Waco, as far as, I guess, like Waco, Weatherford, Denton, Mesquite.
I would say even farther than that, like even outside the Metroplex.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to get outside the
Yeah.
Metroplex there.
I
With
think the
Waco.
whole North Texas area
Well,
is the whole
I
thing.
mean, this is,
Yeah,
you know.
Amarillo, Lubbock, like I would include that in our region.
Amarillo, Lubbock,
Right.
Lubbock even?
Yeah, I
Would it
include that
cross
in our
state
region.
lines though too?
I don't know that it crosses state lines. I don't know.
Would that include-
Oklahoma City is. I think so. No, Austin would be different to me.
That's a different.
Austin's central
Yeah.
region. Because Texas is just so big.
It's huge.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Huge.
just so big. That's
I don't know that other states, smaller states, put in the Northeast, that might be problematic to figure out what a region is for them. But for
Mhm.
us, because Texas
Right.
is so big, regional premiere, I think that's how we
define it.
theater producers in our North Texas, on our region, I think consider it to be sort of North Texas.
Right.
Right. Well, what about the world premiere?
A world premiere has never been produced anywhere in the whole world.
It's never had a full production
A
Right.
full production. It might have had readings.
or workshop.
Readings,
Workshops.
workshops, but
Um,
fully produced.
Fully produced, staged, everything. Yeah. And we had one this season that we're currently in.
Deer.
Deer by Aaron Mark. Hi.
We love you, Aaron.
We like Aaron so much. He's fantastic. And then this season,
Like a Billion Lights.
Like a Billion Likes, with Eric Forrest Jackson, who might be watching. Hi.
What's up?
He's they're both really cool people, and we. I think it's great to do world premieres. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but
I love world premieres. I think
It's
they're one
exciting
of my
to
favorite
be.
things to do.
It's exciting to be on the ground floor of something.
Yeah.
yeah, the first ones to be creating the art. I think that's what's really
And exciting
very
for our
important.
community too.
Yeah, I like the ever changingness of it, and like coming in, and we might have like it feels very community even with us like putting it together, and we'll have questions about can we tweak this, can we do this?
Right.
The
There's
script
no
is changing.
there's
and
no roadmap
yeah.
to
Well,
follow.
I'd like to actually talk about what we're doing with Like a Billion Likes, because this is our first time to have the opportunity to really work on a show in advance, which I don't think we had as much of an ability with Deer. That was a different circumstance with Deer. With this one, it was the winner of our Southwest Playwriting Competition, so we have given it a reading. We're very much in touch with the playwright. He was in town for that reading. We're going to cast it and have another reading. He's going to progress the script some. We're going to work with him on just little tweaks here and there. And then I suppose there's the potential for more rewrites between that time, sometime in September. We'll invite you. And in December, there's a potential for
Yes.
another reading. And then he's going to be in town with us. I hope you guys don't feel like I'm so loud, but she keeps it.
I know.
It's loud, so I feel like
Mark
I'm
Lowry
yelling
asked us
it.
to speak up.
Okay, thank you, Mark.
Hey, Mark, sorry.
Sorry.
We appreciate it. But that's exciting to me to know that we'll have a playwright in town and we get to really work with them to be able to make sure that their work is what they want it to be. I mean, that's a really good question. Like, who do you serve
Oh,
on
for a world premiere?
creating a play, any play? Who's the most important person to think of when you're? Who are you trying to be truest to? Because in my mind, I believe in honoring the playwright.
Right.
What was the playwright's intention, and not just dismissing them. You know, I think it's very important to try your best to get an understanding of what their intention was, and if you like that play, then to honor that intention.
Yeah, I think it all comes down to the script. Even the playwright is trying to honor the script. Everyone involved is trying to honor the script, whatever that is.
The
So I think the
story.
service is to the script.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna reach for sugar.
Yeah, do it.
Oh, I just got.
Hang on.
Garret, you want to read this one?
Does a premiere imply that no one else wants to do the show?
Oh, that's good.
Absolutely not. It is so hard and competitive to acquire the rights for a regional premiere. A regional premiere does not mean that it is something that is low on the list or like at the bottom of the barrel. There's a lot of competition that goes on with trying to convince licensing houses or playwrights or agents that you are the right production company to produce a piece, or that this is the right time to produce a piece.
And there were several shows that we did not win.
We did not win. Other theaters got them. And we can't wait to see those productions. You know, that's the thing, is there is competition for all of these plays that we have on here.
And just because it's a regional premiere doesn't necessarily mean that it's with hot button topics or really controversial or
Right.
really,
No, not at all.
really, bold or anything necessarily. It just means that it hasn't been produced in the region. But
It could be anything. It's just it's a play that is hot,
generally they are new plays. Generally,
newer.
Yeah.
Within, I'd say, 5 years.
5,
or
yeah.
anything, because a funny thing happened on the way to the gynecologic oncology unit at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center of New York. I just wanted to do it once.
yeah.
It has been workshopping for at least a
It was
decade.
a while. She took a break from it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is what we say.
So I think it's a new play, but it's also been being
It's been around.
worked.
We
Yeah.
had, I'm not sure that there are quite a few regional premieres that haven't been around for quite some time. We produced Sarah Rule's adaptation of Orlando a few seasons back, and that had been in the works since, I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe since she was in school.
Yeah,
Right.
I remember that.
And then it was just recently with it, the year that we did it, whatever that was,
Oh,
13, 14, 14, 15.
Yeah.
was it?
It had just been published.
Yeah, so you never know where a play's genesis
Yeah.
was in relation to a production of it later.
Yeah.
Right.
Any questions from? Okay.
I think another thing about the regional premieres is that oftentimes they have, no matter what the feel of the play, whether it's a romantic comedy or a Syrian drama or a thriller, whatever the genre is, I think a lot of the regional plays are sought after more because they feel relevant to now. And that, to me, and I think to all of us here, is something that's important about creating art, is to make sure that it reflects our times and helps us to question. It helps us to understand and reflect upon now where we are as humanity.
I think that there is something incredibly valuable in being entertained. I think there's also something incredibly valuable in a dialogue and being part of a conversation. And what does it mean to be an artist, and what responsibilities does an artist have, and how can we serve our community as artists? Our mission at Stage West is to entertain, inspire, and challenge. And those three things are something that we look at when selecting a season or when reading a play. How are those things, those three qualifications fulfilling us, and then how would those three qualifications fulfill our community?
It is my opinion that every single play on our season, save maybe Don't Dress for Dinner, because I do feel that is more entertainment heavy than any of the others, but the other six, I feel very strongly, all meet our mission completely. Entertain, inspire, and challenge. So that it's equal.
Yeah.
We do have another question. What are you doing to engage communities of color as audience members or artists working in some aspects at the theater?
I think the most obvious thing that we are trying to do is hire people of color, whether it be designers or actors or directors, making sure that those communities are represented in the creation of the art here.
And it's not easy, actually, because we really have to go out and try to bring them in sometimes and say, hey, you are welcome here because
you're wanted.
Maybe they just don't feel it or have felt it in the past.
We also have fantastic education programs here too, and those communities are we're trying to fulfill to make sure our classes are diverse, so that our future generations know that theater is something for everyone.
And can support us.
Yeah. Yeah.
It should also reflect in the programming, I think, too. The choices of plays that we're producing should reflect that effort to be more inclusive.
Around the board, yeah, absolutely. There is this is a fantastic and wonderful conversation that has no answer, but is worthy of all of our time, that is happening all around the Metroplex. And there are lots of theaters who are dialoguing about this exact subject. There's no answer that has been settled on, but this is a conversation that's being had in lots of theaters, and it's a wonderful, exciting conversation that needs to be had, and I'm thrilled we're all having it. There have been multiple community forums. Denise Lee does her community conversations. There was a town hall at Water Tower. All of these dialogues are very exciting and thrilling to be a part of, for this very reason, this conversation, to find some sort of an answer to that question.
I do feel, as a person of color, that I do feel represented within the season, which is something that's very important to me. And I know the big conversation sometimes that I'll have with other people is not always just when you see a show, oh, well, there's one show that's there for us, and then we can't really do anything else. But I think it's also very important to know that we should go out and do things that are also outside of our comfort zone and kind of include ourselves into other shows that just don't say in the description person of color, but there's something in here truly for everyone. And I was very pleased with this season seeing I saw a lot of diversity that is available in the show, or in all of the shows this season, but also just coming out to do any of them. I think there's a place for everyone in this. And that to me is really important as well.
Awesome.
We have,
Glad to hear that.
yeah, lots of different people represented on the spectrum of ages, genders, creeds, nationalities, and races. There's a lot of roles representing lots of different kinds of people in this season, which is thrilling and very exciting.
I think it's great. There really is something, and I keep saying that, there really is something for everyone in this. And it's so wonderful to be part of that community.
And we made a commitment to this verbally, signed on to the Ghost Light Project, which is a national project that you can look up online. I believe it's ghostlightproject.com, might be .org. But it talks about inclusiveness and making sure that everyone is fully welcome here, knowing that people are welcome. And it goes beyond religion and race and gender identity to country of origin, immigration status, all of that. Money, your income should not make a difference as to whether or not you can be here, your class. All of those things are relevant and very present in our society. The discrimination goes very deep in our country, and so trying to remember to peel back those layers of discrimination, and I should also say the curtain on some of them, because some are we just aren't as aware. And so the more that we can be aware of people who have not traditionally been included, the more we can make an effort to say, hey, you are included, you're wanted. We need your help to also be part of coming in and being a part, because it is a two-way street. It has to be a two-way street. Once the doors are opened, the welcome mat is there.
Yes.
So.
Okay, this is a fun question. Who is your favorite character in the upcoming season?
Ooh.
I know. I mean, I am tempted to say God. Because I think that's a fun answer. But it is a great character in the upcoming season.
There are some roles this season.
Yeah, there really are.
Gosh, I mean, God is definitely a great one.
Yeah.
God is a great answer.
That is a great answer.
God is always a great answer. I really, these two plays I think have some of my favorite characters.
I can't remember what is the lead. What is her name?
Carla.
Carla. Carla, and a funny thing happened on the way. It's a great character, and he is a great character.
Yeah, they both. Yeah,
The whole family in here, they're all amazing in such specific, nuanced ways. Yeah, it's an extraordinary piece of writing.
I like a lot of these roles. I love Aaron Posner. I think he is kind of a genius, like Skosh. Every character in Life Sucks is amazing. I have an especially a fondness for Pickles. I love that.
I love Pickles.
Who are the two? Dee and
Dido
and
Minnie.
Dido and Minnie and an octoroon.
They're such good roles.
Oh, they're just amazing.
I think when I was reading that one, I literally put it down and I went into your office and I was like, these two characters are brilliant. And I was like, it could have gone two ways. I could have read this and been like, never mind. But I read it and I was like, this is so brilliantly put together. I love those two characters.
Yeah, they're memorable.
And they overturn your expectations.
Yeah, and they connect you to it.
They're the link. Yeah.
They're the link for 2017 to, when is it? 1859.
Yeah.
Was when the play that's written on.
The Octoroon.
So basically, we've just said all of the characters in the other
Yeah.
season.
They're all great. Do you need a refill on tea? Do you need a different cup? Have you gone away from that cup?
No, I still like
You
my
could
cup.
order-
I would like. I didn't want to reach over.
What do you want?
People
Does
are
anyone
wondering
need-
if it's prop food because you weren't eating it.
Oh, I know.
Sorry.
I don't want to
Yeah, I don't wanna
reach.
reach either.
I need a lemon bar really bad.
I want one of Dana's sandwiches.
I recommend taking the top off of the sandwich and just eating the bottom part
Is
because
it overly ready?
it's gluten free.
I'm gonna stock up now so I don't have to reach over later.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point.
But no, it's real food.
I'm like the jerk that's been reaching this whole time. I was raised with manners. I
You're
swear.
trying to blow the way to go. I'm just like, excuse me for this lemon bar. While you're talking.
Well, that's why I chose the seat. Okay, I was like, it's closest to the
All the
food.
food.
This is good. Are the shows already cast? No.
Nope, we're trying to cast them.
Auditions are
obviously-
coming up quick.
Yes.
Some roles.
Obviously, we've already cast God in an act of God.
BJ Cleveland.
We're
If I was gonna ask for a god out of our community, I think BJ.
We weren't far off.
We were the perfect god.
I think I'm really glad that I
don't
did
get a
that.
big head about it,
Going
BJ.
into reading it,
That you knew
reading
it?
it and knowing that it was BJ. 'Cause I read the plays way after they had all read them, so knowing that it was BJ and reading it, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. This is going to be really great.
Yeah.
Great job, BJ.
We are in the process of casting our season opener, Life Sucks, which is very exciting. That will be very soon. And we have auditions coming up for the next 3 or 4 within the next few months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think we had a lot of really great people come into Life Sucks.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
It was
absolutely.
the
It's a
full
great list.
talent pool we have here is insane.
Yeah.
Mark and I are going to be in Don't Dress for Dinner. I mean, that's the plan, you know. I guess it could always change.
No, that's gonna be it.
But we really want to play, and that is a fun show to play in. And Christy Vela is directing, and we both want to work with you, Christy. So we're looking forward to that. We love to do farces together.
I know.
It's fun.
Yeah. Slam doors,
This is great.
mistaken identities.
This is fun.
We have a question.
Mm.
Right here. What do you think the founder of Stage West, Jerry Russell, would think of the new season?
He would love it.
I think he'd be very
He's
excited.
just so proud.
Yeah.
I think about Jerry,
Constantly.
yeah, I mean, like on a daily basis.
Yeah.
There
He's-
isn't a day that goes by that Jerry
He's
doesn't
built
touch
into the
my life.
walls of this place for sure.
He'd think it was amazing. He used to say that there were things that he envisioned and wanted to do, but that he felt like he wasn't able to do. And he said, Dana, whenever I retire, you go at all those things. I just can't do them myself. Some of them were personal. I mean, you know, that he felt on a personal level that he was not in a position to make certain decisions. But he, I think he would find it amazing. I think he would love it.
I think he would find it exciting.
He would find it exciting.
Absolutely.
It's unpredictable, which is very, and it's eclectic. That was always something that Jerry was good at.
Here's the one thing that Jerry always tried to steer away from is having people leave depressed. That was the one criteria that always popped up whenever we were planning seasons was if there was a play that ended on a real down note, even if it was a brilliant play, he went, well, I know it's a brilliant play, but it's hard to leave people in that frame of mind.
But that also didn't scare him away from scripts.
It did not scare him
He
away.
did some that made you, maybe not necessarily depressed, but it left you with something to think about and consider.
I always go back to the fact that Jerry produced Quills, which was about the Marquis de Sade.
Yeah.
And it was a very 1-2 punch play. I mean, he was in a naked bodysuit with toys as your bits and pieces, and telling really awful stories. I mean, it was
Lewd, yeah.
lewd.
Yeah.
Angels in America. We were the first ones to do that play, and that was talk about cutting edge. That was regionally in the late '90s, and part 2. So
The first play I did here, New Jerusalem, did not end on a happy note.
no,
No.
but it was a
It was
brilliant
a huge,
ending.
and Jared
It
was a
not
huge
depressing.
advocate of that show, but it did not end on a good note.
But it wasn't depressing.
It wasn't depressing. It just made you think.
It
You left the
made you
theater
think.
with something to.
Leaving the theater
Work
with
with.
something to think about was high on Jerry's list.
Yes.
In fact, it's the mission statement. It's his: entertain, inspire, and challenge. So he'd love it.
Yeah.
I'm
We're proud of it. We're proud of it.
We're really
Yeah.
proud, and,
Yeah.
and I think we all feel like, Jerry is here with us.
Yeah.
So.
Do we have any questions from peoples?
We have another one about likability and likes, but
Yeah.
it's sort of one that y'all may have answered towards
That's
the
okay.
beginning. Talk about likability and likes and the decision to include that in the new season after it had a reading and won the playwriting festival. Have you all worked with the playwright since the decision/reading?
Wow, what a
Yeah.
full question. It's great. Well, first of all, it was the winner.
Part of the prize of our annual Southwest Playwriting Competition is that a full production, that the script that wins goes into the pile of consideration for a full production. So that's part of
The prize.
the prize. And that doesn't mean we will or have any obligation to produce it. There are many factors that obviously go into choosing a season. But we felt like that one was a good fit for this season. The playwright was here for the reading. And we started a dialogue with him then about obtaining the rights to the world premiere, and continued that dialogue for a month, 2 months after that. And we are continuing to have a very active dialogue with him through the process of very, very pre-production.
We will be casting the show soon. He will be part of the casting process. He's great because he doesn't want to have final say on it, but he does want to be included. And that's the kind of playwright you'd like to work with, who realizes that that there are many artistic minds in the seat making the decisions, and so he just wants to be a part of the process because it's his baby that we're going to help to give
And
life
he's
to.
also an incredible writer.
He is wonderful.
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing a reading of his play. He's tinkering with it. So when we cast it, we'll do a reading, a stage reading. Everyone will be invited. That'll be
Which
sometime.
is very exciting. That doesn't always get to happen with our community. We don't get to
No.
be part of the birth of something.
No, it's so cool.
It's very cool.
To be part of
For
the
us and
creation
for
of
you
a
guys,
play.
yeah.
And then we might do that again. You can't really know how much what you're going to do just after that, but we're definitely going to start rehearsals the day after Christmas, and Eric will be in town again. He's clearly has an open line of communication with us and wants to be involved. So I hope that answers the question.
Yeah.
Someone wants us to know that New Jerusalem is their all-time favorite show Stage West has ever produced.
Oh,
It's
that's
great.
wonderful.
How about that?
When I read that
It's not
play,
an easy show.
oh, it's just beautiful.
It's a lot to digest and think about.
It's one of my favorite plays we've ever produced too. It's incredible, and of course that's where we got Garret from. We got you from that. How lucky we are. Okay.
We only have 5 minutes left, but maybe we should just name all of the.
Yes.
Because we do have
People-
we have directors for all of the shows.
Life Sucks is being directed by.
Emily Scott
Banks.
Banks. Woo-hoo.
I'm going to skip this one.
Yeah.
Oh, An Act of God is being produced by.
Harry Parker.
A Funny Thing Happened. ... Lee
Oh,
Troll.
I was trying not to take them all.
That's like a game.
Lee Troll.
Don't Dress for Dinner.
Christy Vela.
An Octoroon.
Akeem Babatunde.
And then we might as well put this out there, like a billion likes in here. Garret and I are
We're
right
working
now
together.
we're working together on we are directing those, and one of us will wear the main hats for each one respectively. But we both have an affinity for both plays and have a good working relationship. So at this point, we are directing those. What else? But you know what? We have other directing projects that will come up throughout the year.
Absolutely.
Not only for our educational programs, which is real and something, the Festival of the Kid, but also for our new play. I'm sorry. Yes, our new play readings. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Our
Southwest.
our New Play Reading Festival.
Yes,
Oh,
that's
right.
it.
There's so many things we do here. Sometimes I'm like, what is that one called? But that's a great forum for directors as well.
We also do an annual, have had the opportunity, very lucky, to do an annual presentation at the Bass for an educational program.
yeah,
We
yeah.
are this year going to be doing Romeo and Juliet, a condensed sort of adaptation, and we are thrilled to have Tiffany Green direct that. So we're very excited to have her over here to help us out with that. I think we have the last question.
This is perfect for our last question. I want to see these all. How do I get tickets?
StageWest.org, baby.
Our box office, you can call at 817-784-9378 and talk to Jennifer, who is thebomb.com. Our box office is open Tuesdays through Fridays, 10 to 3, and then Saturdays from noon to 5. All that information is on our website, stagewest.org.
That's right.
If you purchase season tickets before,
October 1st.
then you get a discount, so do that.
You get a discount on An Act of God.
You get a discount
On the
discounted
net.
rate and then a discounted rate on Act of God too, right?
Right. A season ticket will have a discounted rate no matter what
Yeah.
over season tickets. It's empty. Sorry. But if you purchase tickets before October 1st, you get a discounted ticket to, you can purchase a discounted ticket to An Act of God. But, I mean, there are so many ways to come and see theater here.
We can also
Absolutely.
volunteer to be an usher. We always need volunteer for ushers.
Yeah.
You can, but there's,
Yep, and we have a Facebook group for ushers. You can join our Facebook group if you just go to groups and search Stage West Volunteers.
Stage West Volunteer Facebook group. You can join in there.
We also have our 10 out of 10 on Thursday and Friday performances. If you show up at the box office 10
10
minutes
minutes.
before curtain, you can get a $10 seat for any available seat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thursday and Friday.
Thursday and Fridays, yes.
Thursday and Fridays. We have Pay What You Can,
Mhm.
the first Sunday and Thursday of every show.
It's actually the second Thursday.
I'm sorry.
That's what you mean.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
It's tomorrow for Sex with Strangers, by the way.
It's tomorrow for Sex with Strangers.
Ooh.
But I mean, I guess all that to say that what's really cool about a season ticket, and we've heard Jerry said this all the time, and it's true, is that when you get a season ticket, no matter where you get it, we'd love it to be at Stage West, but no matter where you're going to see a show,
Or the museum.
or museums,
yeah.
opera, anything. What is special about buying something, the whole package for the year, is that you are more likely to go to something that you wouldn't likely go to otherwise. And that is the key to trying new things. I always like to tell people about this NPR story I heard once upon a time where they said that most people don't try anything new or different after the age of 33. That's frightening.
I know. That's
But it's pretty prevalent that that's a normal thing. So things like season tickets to the arts, you are more likely to go to something that you wouldn't have tried out, that isn't, you don't perceive to be in your comfort zone. And that,
You may end up loving, yeah.
and 9 times out of 10, I have heard people say, I wouldn't have come to see that, but because I had a season ticket, I did, and it's now one of my favorite plays that I've ever seen.
So you could almost say that our season tickets keep you young.
Our season tickets keep you young.
Never used,
Yeah.
right?
New tag, new tag.
Our season tickets are also flexible, which is also
Oh my God, you can talk about that. I don't
very
think people know.
exciting thing. There are 6 admissions that you can use any way you want. You can use 1 admission for each of the 6 shows in our main stage season, or you can come with 5 of your friends to 1 show, and that can be your season ticket.
Or any combination
Therein,
therein.
yeah.
You know, go with a date. If you are starting to date someone, buy a season ticket and come see 3 shows. And that season ticket will give you a little discount. Oh, because you can also come to the cafe. Because we have this awesome cafe that we're sitting in. It doesn't really look like this, But our food is really good here.
It is.
It
Chef Arturo is amazing.
Chef
Fantastic cafe
Arturo is
stuff.
great.
I don't even eat
Ham.
before shows anymore. I'll just wait until I get here.
It's so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and you'd think at this point that we'd all be sick of the food, but
Well, and what's exciting is
So
we have a
fresh.
changing entree every show,
yes,
which is exciting and fun and something to try when you come here.
always so good.
Our drink changes.
Our
Yeah.
drink
We
changes.
had the alien macho, and now we have the
The
sexy
sexy
stranger. Our next drink.
We got a good beer selection. I like our beers.
Beer and
Sunday
wine.
brunch.
Oh, Sunday brunch.
Oh.
Because we have these the eggs. Oh, they're so good. I don't know. I mean, because if you have never had eggs that are really fresh, like from, someone like
The chicken.
straight from the chicken. God, I mean, what else would people be eating all this time? But if you have never been so lucky to know somebody who had their own chickens and you got that egg like the next day or even that day, it's different.
It
It
is
is so
completely
much better.
They're fluffier.
They're
They're
fluffier.
fluffier.
It's crazy
Yeah.
the difference. It's really good. So
And on
yeah.
Fridays, we have a prefix special where you can get a discounted rate for dinner and the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it includes an entree, non-alcoholic beverage, a dessert, the tip for those items, and the show. So that's a really great deal for a date. I mean, that's the thing is, when you're going on a date, you don't want to be worried that parts of it are gonna like suck. We can't control the chemistry. We don't have anything to do with the chemistry part. But we can pretty much guarantee that if you come here, that the food,
It's a full experience.
it's a full experience. The food is great. The shows, even if you didn't like the show, you can guarantee that the performance and the production is going to be, the quality is there, and it's very important to all of us. But most people I find walk out, they love the whole experience. They are shocked when they experience all of it. They're like, I can't believe that this is here. I had no idea. I can't wait to come back.
What an amazing
That's nice.
conversation to have after a date about the
Yeah.
shows that we're doing.
Right.
Because there's also art. We also always have local art on the wall, great local art each show.
And on Thursday and Sunday after the shows, we have post-show conversations.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes.
Post-show conversations. Those are fun.
Yeah.
The most fun that the post-show conversation is, because even though they're only like 15, 20 minutes, it's quick. I mean, it can be longer. Sometimes they've lasted, you don't have to
30,
stay.
40
if you don't
minutes,
want
yeah.
to. But they stay. People get really into the conversation. But the best is when there's different viewpoints. People that have different feelings about different points of the show or different themes, and then you start to hear differing perspectives, and that's awesome. That's nice because not only does it inform someone else's point of view a little bit, but it also helps to shape someone's. You might have one thought about the show, and then you hear other people talk about it, and it changes your thoughts, or it opens you up to other ideas and possible perspectives.
We don't always get the opportunity to do that, to talk about art with people we don't know. But we have just had the same experience, interpreted it maybe different ways. But that's what is very exciting about those conversations and the engagement that you all get to have with each other, we get to have with you. And like this right now, engaging with you guys about what our programming is and hearing from you all about the questions that you have. And if there are any questions that you do have that you haven't had the opportunity to ask us yet, reach out to us, let us know, start a dialogue with us. We are completely at your disposal.
It's so true. We're all so willing and open to dialogue about any of this with anyone, one-on-one, in small groups, via Facebook, email,
Yeah.
and a lot of people do take that opportunity already.
Yeah.
Don't hesitate. But that's the coolest thing about theater, don't you think? I mean, that's really why I'm still doing it after all these years, is because every night is different,
Right.
no matter what. And I just find that to be one of the neatest things about this whole thing that takes way too much of our lives. Sucks away our lives. is when the audience feel what happens when that last component every single night arrives, and you get a sense of, you ever done a show and you kind of get a sense that the audience is all pissed off to begin with?
Oh,
Something
sure.
like there's a vibe that's not right,
Right,
or they're really happy. There's a vibe that is already present in the house, and it affects the performances. And then the performance on the other side of that can also affect the full audience vibe. It's a living,
Energy flow,
breathing
yeah.
thing, that energy flow. It's cool. It's
Yeah.
I can't actually say that I've had a pissed off audience.
It was just an example.
It sounded exciting.
Cafe, you can definitely get the vibe of a great deal of the audience just by the people that are sitting here
Right.
eating, because you're sitting in the green room or.
There were a lot of times where I like to, if I'm backstage and I'll come down here and I like to listen in what people are kind of like saying in the cafe. I think it's like really interesting to kind of be part of that conversation.
We have some very passionate Sex with Strangers audience members about Ethan's character. They're just very passionately yelling things from the audience.
What are they yelling?
Just like, we've had lots of boos. We've had lots of, not to his performance, but his character as a person. They're very passionate about the way they feel about his character.
Well, we have a show coming up where audiences are free to talk to the characters in certain portions of the show called Life Sucks. So come see that. For all of you people who have comments for Ethan.
I want to, play as I play Olivia Lago, the other part of that show. I want to defend Ethan Kane a little bit because
Just a little.
just a little bit. But the honest to God truth is, if you really read, if you really pour through the script, because there's a lot of dialogue that an audience is taking in all at once. But I'm very familiar with the play, and his perspective and his point of view and side of things is very well held up. He says who he is from the very beginning. You know what he does. You know what he's trying to do. He's never hiding anything, ever. And he may be he may have a
Dude.
very open.
You like him.
But that's what makes the show so interesting and complicated and complex, right? These characters are contradictory and they're one thing one moment and not one thing the next moment. It's what we are. It's humans. We're contradictory, weird creatures.
I mean, I'd much rather have the audience on my side any day, but I like the moment where everyone goes, ooh,
Oh, yeah.
towards him, like.
Winning.
One method.
So we should go. Thank you so much for joining us.
And see you at Stage West.
See you at the theater.
Bye.